We must pay homage to him.
What's poppin', everyone? Adama here. So, if you're into mobile smartphone photography, there's no how you haven't heard about the Pixel phones. Now, yesterday, Google launched the Google Pixel 4a for $350. That's not a lot of money. It's pretty cheap. But then I know that there are still some people out there who don't have a lot of money. And it's not that they're trying to be stingy with money or anything like that. They just don't have a lot of money to spend. So buying something like the Google Pixel 2 would be a good option. So now, if you're buying the Google Pixel 2, you're not only buying it for the photo quality. I don't think everyone who's buying these phones are buying them for the photo quality alone. They're going to be using it as their main phone. So they'd like to know how it would do in like everyday to-day tasks. Now, the first thing I'm going to talk about, the most important factor when it comes to everyday functionality, is the chipset. Now, the Snapdragon 835 on the Pixel 2 is a flagship processor. We saw it in the Samsung Galaxy S9 and Note 9. It performs well. For gamers, it will give you smooth graphics and ultra frame rates on PUBG with zero lag, so you get an idea of how it will perform. For the everyday user, scrolling through the UI, doing everything will feel snappy. Even though it doesn't have a high refresh rate, you will still enjoy the experience for sure. You're not skimping out because it's a flagship level processor. Now, the Google Pixel 4a comes with a Snapdragon 730. It's a decent chip. It comes on an 8nm process as opposed to the 10nm process on the Snapdragon 835, which means that it has a slight speed advantage over the Snapdragon 835. And of course, because it's also a newer chip, this shouldn't actually surprise you at all. Now, a lot of people have complained about Pixel phones slowing down over time, and that's because of the RAM. Now, the Google Pixel 4 comes with two variations: 64 gigs of internal storage with 4 gigs of RAM, and 128 gigs of internal storage with 4 gigs of RAM. 4 gigs of RAM isn't really enough to like keep the Android system running, but then it actually depends on your it actually depends on how well you optimize your operating system. Now, I don't know why Pixel 2 phones were slowing down, but it doesn't really matter. If you're going to get it, I don't think you will actually notice the slowdown. It's for all these techie people who actually look intricately into every kind of animation and all that kind of thing to actually know whether it's fast or not. So if you're using it for everyday to-day tasks, even taking pictures and everything, you will not notice a speed drop. Don't let all of that discourage you. And the Pixel 4a comes with one spec, 128 gigs of internal storage and 6 gigabytes of RAM. So that's very, very cool. Now, another thing we want to talk about is the operating system. Since I was talking about performance just now, the Google Pixel 4a comes with Android 10 out of the box, and it's going to have Android updates for up to, I think, 2 or 3 years, either 2 or 3 years, which means that you can get Android 12. And because Pixel phones are Google's phones, they always get the new Android updates first. The Google Pixel 2, because it was launched like 2 years ago, has Android 8 on it, but you can upgrade to Android 10. I don't think you get Android 11, so if you are hoping for that, just get that out of your mind. It doesn't really matter. Android 10 is already a very, very good operating system, and if you have Android 10, you will be very, very fine with the software experience. Android 11 is just like adding small tweaks to the already great foundation that Android 9 gave. So let's move away from that. The battery sizes on these phones. Now, the Google Pixel 2 has the advantage in battery life, but the Google Pixel 4a has the advantage in charging speeds. So the Google Pixel 2 comes with a 3520 milliamp hour battery. And by the way, when I'm talking about the Google Pixel 2, I'm referring to the Google Pixel 2 XL. I'm not talking about the regular Pixel. Everything I'm saying there does not apply to the regular Pixel. I'll put the specs of the regular Pixel there so you can see them. But the Google Pixel 2's 3520 milliamp hour battery, yes, it has fast charging, but it's capped at 10.5 watts according to GSM Arena. And the Google Pixel 4a has 18 watts fast charging. So it creates this kind of counterbalance. If you're someone who actually needs the battery to stay for long without charging, then the Google Pixel 2 will actually stay longer. But then at the same time, the Google Pixel 4a may not stay as long as the Google Pixel 2, but then you can charge it up faster than you can charge the Google Pixel 2. So it actually is like a counterbalance kind of thing. You actually have to decide which you think will suit your lifestyle better. Me personally, I'll go for the bigger battery because it's not every single time that I'm like indoors and trying to plug my phone in, even though we're in a pandemic right now, but I'm talking like everyday, day-to-day life. And then these batteries will be powering a 6-inch screen on the Google Pixel 2. It's a 1440p screen at 18:9 aspect ratio, so that means it's a bit large. So if you have smaller hands, I'd advise you not to go for this phone. You may not actually be very comfortable with it. And it has Corning Gorilla Glass 5. Now, the Google Pixel 4a has a 5.81 inch screen. It's a 1080p panel, 19.5:9 aspect ratio, and as you can already tell, it's 5.8 inches. In case you don't know what 5.8 inches is, the iPhone 10, the regular iPhone 10, is 5.8 inches. So you get an idea of how small it is. So if you have smaller hands, this is definitely the phone for you. And that 19.5:9 aspect ratio makes it very, very slim. So it's actually easily grippable in your hands. The only downside is that it comes with Corning Gorilla Glass 3. But other than that, I don't think you actually care, because most people put their phones in cases and also put screen protectors on, so you may not really notice. And glass is glass will still break. Corning Gorilla Glass is very resistant to scratches, which is what matters. That's pretty much it. Like, when we're talking in the performance standpoint, it's actually a bit of a toss-up for me, because both of these phones don't support 5G, so that's not going to be an upper hand here. There is a slight advantage for the Google Pixel 2 because it has an IP67 water resistant rating. It has an aluminium stroke glass back, and it also has an aluminium frame. The Google Pixel 4a is totally plastic. Like, everything about it is plastic. For those of you who don't know, plastic is lighter than aluminium, so you will definitely be able to tell the difference in weight. See, personally, I'll go for the Google Pixel 2 because of battery life. I know that it will give me some decent performance. It's a flagship level chip, so I expect it to be running smooth. And with the latest versions of Android, I also expect that slowdowns that people were complaining about would have stopped. But let me know in the comments what you think. Which phone would you get if you are out there in the market? Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. See ya.
We must pay homage to him.